Hi guys, it's Little Pepper Lady here again today. I wasn't going to do a second video, but I ended up coming on here to do one because I went to the store today and I had to get my new glasses. And while I was at the store, I decided to get some preps. And honestly, that's the way that I do it. Some people, don't do it that way, but I personally will just, every time I go to the store, I'll just pick up a few things, especially if I see stuff that's on sale, canned goods, pastas, anything like that. Don't mind my face that's breaking out a little bit. I've been under a little bit of stress lately, so that's what happens. Um, but back to my point. I just pick up a little bit of stuff here and there, and I figured, I would come on here since obviously I'm a prepper and that's important to me, and I would show you guys kind of how I do things as far as prepping. Now, honestly, I just started prepping just a couple of weeks ago, probably about 3. And everything that I'm going to show you in this video is stuff that I've gotten over the past 3 weeks. It was nothing that I had stored in my house. It was nothing that, had anything to do with any of that. It was just stuff that I picked up here and there. So let's start with what I picked up at the store today. I went to our local Walmart, and then I'll kind of go through my prepper area that I have down here. This was my daughter's bedroom at one point. We had a lot of kids in our house, so my dad and my boyfriend built this room. It's 2 walls are a basement. This is the only window that's here. It gets very little light because that goes up to our driveway. I know it's hard to see, but you can hear, in the background that I have a heater going. It's really cold down here, especially since it's been chilly here in New York today. So I only have the heater running when I'm down here working on my preps and labeling things, which is something I'll do once I'm done with this video. I have to go through and put today's date on it so I know when I stock it on my shelf that, it's today that I bought it, and I make sure that it gets used up, in my rotation when it needs to get used up. So the first thing that I want to show you that I picked up are these suddenly pasta salads. Now, these are great. Honestly, the only thing that you do is you boil water, which, if you have the ability to do a campfire or wood stove, then you have boiling water when you have water stored. And then you just add the pasta, and it has all of the seasoning in it. So those are great things to prep. And actually, what I will do to make sure that they stay longer is I will put those particular items that are boxed like that have the ingredients with them, into a Mylar bag, which I'll show you those. I do have quite a bit of Mylar bags, all different sizes, so that I can store them, and then I'll put an oxygen absorber in with this, and then what I'll end up doing is I will put them in these buckets. These are food grade storage buckets. My boyfriend actually works for Wegmans, so he picked me up a whole lot of those, and then I'll seal them up and I will store them, and they will be good for 30 years. The next thing that I picked up, which is also a great item for long-term storage or short-term storage, are these Italian sides. Now, I picked up all different kinds of these. This one is creamy garlic and shells. This one is Alfredo. This one is chicken and broccoli, and this one is cheddar broccoli. Now, these say to use margarine in it, but it's optional. You don't have to use margarine in it, and that's great because if you don't have a way to make butter and you don't have refrigeration, yes, you can leave butter out, which I do. I know a lot of people do. They don't always refrigerate their butter. They keep it in a container, so I will definitely have some of that set aside prep-wise, constantly changing it out and using it, but I will have some set aside. But we're going to run out of that. So it is an option to use in order to cook those. So then again, you just need water. So that's, something that you can eat either for a quick snack or a side to go along with whatever you have. The next thing that I always love to get, I'm a huge tuna person. I don't like seafood normally, but I really love tuna. And these are great. So these are already prepackaged. They're in like their own Mylar container, so I'll just put these in those food storage buckets, and those will be good to go. And they also make them now with flavorings in them, and I've picked up quite a few packs recently here. all different flavors, ranch, bacon, really yummy stuff. And you can eat it right out of that, or you can put it in with pasta. There's so many different things that you can do with tuna. Bread, which obviously you're not going to have that unless you're able to make your own bread, which I will be able to do that because I know how to do that. My mother taught me how to do that, and we have a bread machine, or we can rise it behind the wood stove, so we'll be fine with that. But yeah, tuna's great. I love tuna. And then I also picked up another container of Hellmann's mayonnaise. I have a couple already, but those are just a few of the things that I picked up today. And then I wanted to show you these. I bought a food dehydrator the other day, and I've kind of been experimenting on ways that you can, keep the sugar content in your fruits when you dehydrate them. So these ones were done in sugar. They took a little bit longer to dehydrate because they were done in the sugar, but I have some strawberries there, and I have a ton of bananas. The kids really like these. So those are going to get packed as well in my Mylar bags and put into my food storage bucket. So let me give you a tour of this little room that I have around here, and we'll discuss it. So over here is my canned goods. So on the top, I have my canned vegetables. I have just some corn started, some green beans, stuff like that. Then I have some fruit. I have soups and some meat over here, and canned, meals, raviolis, all that kind of stuff. Down here, I have my tuna and, some manwich, some beans, things like that. Down here, there's a bucket in the way, so I have, just some random things, some Tang. You definitely want to have something different to drink, some condiments. I have peanut butter and jelly, all that kind of stuff. And then over here are a couple of the food storage buckets that I have. This one is pasta, and I can't open it because it's sealed. This one, I will show you, has all of these in it. So I really like these Mountain House meals. I know that they have a lot of sodium in them, but they are good for 30 years. So literally the expiration date on this is, let me see, I think it's 2042 is when it's good by. So these will go in my food storage buckets, and those will be good as well because they are in their own, Mylar container. The next thing that I have to show you is these shelves over here. So this is kind of like my stuff that needs to be used up right away because it's getting ready to, reach its expiration date. So that's there for the kids to come down and grab. I have water underneath here, lots and lots of cases of water so far. And over here is kind of some stuff that I need to pack up in my Mylar bags and get packed away in my food storage container. So I have my salt, I have some breadcrumbs up here, some oats, sugar, obviously, flour. These homestyle baked kits, I think these are great. All you do is add water. It's a complete meal. So I'm going to package that up in a Mylar bag, and those will be good as well. I have some crackers in this tote, macaroni and cheese here. These are my hamburger helper, Nutri-Grain bars. These are great, good source of protein. Obviously, you're going to need milk. And in my house, milk is a huge thing. But if you don't have refrigeration, how are you going to do it? So I bought all of those instant dairy products. And I have quite a few of those stored away already. So that's how we will get our milk. If it's cold outside, you can put it in a jug with some water and set it in the cold, and it'll be like cold milk. It's obviously not going to be the same thing, but it's going to work. Down here, I have a container of all of my spices that I need to pack up in some Mylar bags. And then these are my totes over here of the things that I still need to pack up. So I've got my rice and beans up here in this tote, and then down here I have granola bars and things like that. I also have some already packaged spices in my Mylar bags down here that will need to go into the buckets as well. It's a slow process. Like I said, I don't go out, I don't go to BJ's, I don't go to places like that and spend a ton of money at a time. I literally go to the grocery store when I have to go to the grocery store, and I just pick up a few items. I separate them from my normal groceries. I bring them down here. I label them. I put them on the shelves where they belong, and I have everything organized so I know what needs to go into a Mylar container, what needs to be packaged into my food storage buckets, and eventually this entire area will be full of food preps and water, in case something happens. So I want to know what you guys think, how you guys do things differently starting out prepping, or if there's any hints or tips or tricks or anything. And I hope that you guys learned something from this and were able to take away, a way to be organized and, to store your preps and things like that. This honestly is the best type of area for food storage. It's dark, it's cold when I don't have the heater running, when I'm not down here working, and it's just a great area to be able to store everything. It's going to stay good, and I also have cats that come down here once a day to make sure that the mice and critters and stuff stay out. And they're my good hunters, so I'm not too concerned about that. As always, everything happens for a reason. If you're going through any type of bad situation, good situation, whatever it may be, it's happening for a reason. So never forget that. Also, I want to make sure, that you know to leave the past in the past. Think about the future and live for the now, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. We cannot be here tomorrow. So make sure that you're always keeping that in the back of your mind. Forget about the past and just live in the now and think about the future. Bye, guys.